What are you seeing, Greg? What's going on your side of the coin?
I'm seeing sales. It's the same as it was last week. There's the higher end isn't really moving. Some of the lower end is getting lower, and then that mid-range properties are doing okay. I did do an average check of, it was interesting after I saw those 3 neighborhoods last week that we posted the average days on market, looking at about 30, 35 across the city. The average days on market right now is 55 from what I can tell.
That seems more realistic.
That seems more realistic and, accurate in the grand scheme of things right now. But people are out. Like I said, the open houses, there's more open houses. There's people coming through. I had some this weekend. 2 had a home to sell. It was really interesting. Mine's $1 million. These guys were both selling homes that were like a 1.175 and 1.2. And I was like, so you're kind of downsizing? It was like they had bigger lots. They didn't want it anymore, but I hadn't seen that, especially 2 in one day. And their homes are obviously going to be sitting for a little while too, and then we had someone in who was renting. But I am seeing a lot of the visitors in my open house the last couple of weeks were new families or soon to be new families looking to get that almost like that forever home, I guess, right away.
I think we should do a weekly stat update, Greg, for total listings and new listings coming out, because I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people remove their home. Remember we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to take their homes off the market. We'll try again in the spring. And I personally, as we talked about, I think they're missing out on a lot of good opportunities because the people, as you said, people buying in the winter are motivated buyers. Like they're ready to go. And I don't think you're losing. I'm not a realtor, so certainly don't take this as gospel. I like to stay in my lane. But I would imagine, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're not really losing much, especially in the current market, like the way things are currently, like having it on there for that extra 2-3 months, even if you don't drop the price.
It's not going to make a difference because you're already having a hard time selling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So what's the point? Like if you want to do something like take the sign down, if you're tired of looking at the sign, take the sign down. People are going to see it anyways. The sign, having a for sale sign up, I think it's not as important as it used to be. It used to be like, people driving around neighborhoods and seeing the sign up and, calling off the sign, but it's not like that anymore because everybody finds everything online.
Yeah.
So if you just don't want the sign there anymore, just ask your agent to take it down. Like I had somebody and, I even suggested that we just not put one up for now, just because of where we were sitting, like, and so you don't have the neighbors talking. She's a very private person anyways. But, but we've got some with signs up. We've got a lot of, we've got 4 coming out this week. We've got 3 up now. Sorry, 3 up now, 2 coming this week. So, I mean, and that's just their listing now. And that post that I did, the reel that we put up about the listing in the winter, someone chimed in and commented that, well, thanks for this. This is great information. You've made me decide that I'm going to keep my home on for the holidays and for the winter. Right. And I was like, good. I think it's a wise thing to do.
There's always, every year, I seem to always get a purchase agreement between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh,
interesting. I get at least one every year. There are, to that point, there are people, because people have downtime between that period. They're not working in a lot of cases. So if they have it on their mind that they're going to move,
setting goals
like
for the year.
they're thinking about, that new year coming, setting goals, but also they're still, they're sitting with idle hands at home and kind of perusing Realtor, if you will, or the MLS. But for whatever reason, I always seem to get one between it. It makes that I can't actually fully do nothing during that period for myself, but which I actually have to then work. But I always find that interesting, regardless of the year.
To your question, Paul, or to your comment about the cancellations, listings, and whatnot, I do have it up here now. Canceled in Ottawa in the last 7 days, 264 listings. Now, my guess is that
they expired.
More than half of those, I'd say maybe 3/4 of those are actually going to relist. Maybe a quarter won't relist. That's a pretty big number. And then we have 443 new listings. So, I mean, to compare that to the cancellations would be interesting. 228 price decreases.
Out of how many listings?
400. No, that wouldn't be right. I don't know what the current over for the entire market is, but there was 443 new listings. So some of those could be relists from the cancellations, but price decrease 228 of whatever's on the market right now. 800, 108.
So you're saying it's not a seller's market?
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not. 181 conditional sales though, which is pretty good, especially for this time of year. I would say 224 sold. Actually,
I found it. Your comment about the lawn signs is very interesting, and I never really thought of it. It's just expected, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, this listed. There's a real.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe because we'd really like that.